Good afternoon. Hi, John.
Hey guys. Oh, there goes Denny. Denny couldn't get in, so I had to log in as his and figure out how to admit him. There he is. All right, let's rename a few.
What's up,
people.
John?
Denny, how you doing?
Good. So I'm on the road to Mexico, and I was a little bit worried I wouldn't be able to log on, but I'm with you. So I'm all present.
So, where are you headed in Mexico?
Rocky Point is right off the border of Arizona. We have a friend that has a house there, and we're going down there just for the weekend to celebrate his new home.
Nice. I was gonna say Zach logged in as Chase, and I knew it wasn't Chase, and B, you're in his neck of the woods. So all right.
So we had it. So what's going on, John? Let's get cracking, because I understand in Bold this week I was sharing in Recon that my Bold class is working on handling objections and they are making progress. However, they've got a long way to go. So let's help them get there faster.
Awesome. Let's do it. Is there anyone here from your Bold class? I know you're driving, so please don't look down. Anybody on the call currently taking or have previously taken Bold with Denny? No takers, Dan. They're not here right now, but that's okay.
That's okay. Let's get cracking. What are you hearing out there? What do we start with?
All right. So I've got one. We're actually going to cover this one on Monday morning. However, there was an issue with reconnecting calls from your database.
Okay.
So, which would be the Ford call, correct?
That could be the Ford call. Yep.
Ford call, care call, that sort of thing. That's one that came up. Another one that came up, and so I got my notes from things that were emailed to us. Another one that came up was, I'm not looking right now. These are objections that people are coming up with while prospecting. I'm not looking right now. I don't know anyone looking, or I'm not buying because the market, quote unquote, sucks right now. So those are some of the things that are coming to me from other agents who are on our calls, either daily or on this call weekly. So any of those tickle your fancy that you want to cover?
Let's just go in reverse order. Let's go in reverse order, John. So,
all right.
So when you call people, you make 100 calls, and somebody says, "I'm not looking. I don't know anybody is looking, and if I was looking, I wouldn't be looking." I mean, so what's the probability? If you make 100 calls, how many people are going to be basically interested in talking to you about real estate right now?
Statistically speaking, 1%. Because we know that 10 out of those 100 are going to buy or sell this year. So at any given time, out of those 100 people, one is in the market.
Yeah, and that's one way to look at it. If you look at 100 people at random, 64% of them, I think the percentage has changed a little bit, but 64% are homeowners that could be a potential seller. All 100 could be a potential buyer. So
this is correct.
And then if you divide it by everybody moves every 10 years. So if you made 100 calls, 10 people might be interested in having a conversation with you. But now take those 10 people and put the life factor involved. You know, their cat just got run over, or their kid they have to go to the principal's office. What's the possibility that all 10 will have the time to talk to you right when you happen to call?
Slim.
So here's the thing that I wanted to say, that I know agents that haven't made 100 calls in their life and they wonder why they're not succeeding. You should do the 100 calls and expect that, you know, you're going to have 1 to 4 people out of the 100 calls, if you're calling randomly, cold calling particularly, to have a conversation in real estate. And so the rest, I mean, how many major league players in baseball bat 1,000? How many people actually in basketball? I guess there's NBA finals going on. I haven't followed it, but they don't make all their shots, right?
Yep. Just look at last night. LeBron James missed a dunk.
Yeah. So I don't even know who they're playing.
Denver
So the
numbers.
bottom line is there's no conversation that's going to move the needle significantly. What agents have to do is realize the numbers are the numbers, and they have to be more consistent at making their 100 calls a week. I can't
Denny,
give them a magic. Go ahead.
Denny, I got to tell you, your numbers are, you know me, I'm ridiculously geeky when it comes to numbers. I track probably too many things. All right. You gave a number of 3 to 4 people out of 100 you're going to be able to have a conversation with. So statistically, over a 2-month period, I would have 2.5 conversations an hour and dial 70 numbers an hour. So guess what? Your numbers are spot on. You're going to have between 3 and 4 conversations for every 100 numbers you dial. So the question becomes, how many people do you have to talk to set an appointment? Not how many dials do you need to make, how many do you need to talk to set an appointment? And if that answer happens to be 15 people, which, by the way, what are numbers that I came up with is I need to have 15 conversations to set an appointment. Great. That means I need to talk to about 1,000 people, or I need to make 1,000 dials in order to set that appointment.
Well, I would like to have people put in the chat if they've ever made 1,000 dials, this year. So again, we're talking about cold calls. If you're talking about follow-up database calls, the objective isn't necessarily to have a real estate conversation because you don't know when they're ready. The objective is to make a deposit in their mind, in the client's mindshare account, and you're just building the relationship. You are the farmer that's going out there watering seeds and hoeing the weeds out of there. And you know what?
Yep.
You're gonna be ready when they're ready.
Exactly. The goal of the conversation is not to find somebody who's buying or selling today. The goal of these conversations is to build the database so you're there when they're ready. And guess what? When you get that person who's ready for an appointment now, that's icing on the cake. I would actually look at it as say, how many no's can I get today?
Yeah, well, that's perfect. So then what was the second one you said? I know the first. Well, what was the second one? I said we go in reverse order. What was the second one you said, John?
Okay, so we covered. Well, actually, you wrapped up all 3 of them into one, which is I'm not looking. I don't know anyone looking, and the market sucks. Why would I buy? So I would go after the market sucks one, and this is a quote. I'm not paraphrasing. I would go after it from a little bit different standpoint. So awesome. So tell me what about the market sucks right now?
Well, that would be a great conversation. I might give them a question like, I totally understand. Listen, every now and then we run up on some awesome deals. I don't like the word deals. So awesome opportunities. And so if I ran into a home, was a buy one, get one free, do you have anyone that you'd want me to call to tell them about it? Now, I am being a little bit facetious. However, it's like, if I had to buy one, get one free, would you want to know about it? And if they answer yes, then they're really not like negative on the market. It's like, okay, if the deal was attractive enough, let me know. So I might approach it like that.
Yeah. So great. So what would need to happen for the market not to be sucky enough for you to buy? Well, it needs to look like this. Great. Okay.
All right. So let's I'll role play that with you, John, until you get somebody who got their hand up. John, listen, real estate right now is just, I really don't know. I mean, I'm happy where I am, and I don't think the market's going to be that great. So I don't know anyone. I don't have any friends. I'm going to go eat some worms.
You're going to go what?
Eat some worms. It's an expression, probably from Ohio.
That's got to be an Ohio thing because I'm almost your age, Denny. I've never heard that before. All right, so Denny, I get it. You're not happy with the market. Awesome. So what would it look like? What would you need to see to say, hey, I'm interested?
Okay, so I'll give you two quick role plays. Nothing.
Okay, great. So no matter what happens, you are not going to acquire new real estate, even if it happens to be free.
Yeah, I'm going to die in this house.
Okay, perfect. Can I have the name of your kids?
No.
Because somebody's going to sell the house someday, and I just want to make sure I'm there at the right time.
Well, what am I demonstrating? You guys, I
You-
said this on Recon. I said it on this show before. There's
Smoke and
there's
mirrors.
no way you're not going to get everyone. I mean,
Yep.
I make the joke about genies can't bring people back from the dead, and there and you cannot use your words, wizardry of words, to make someone not want to buy. Again, we don't create business; we harvest it. So it's okay if they don't want to do anything. And the interesting thing is, you know what? I don't take them out of my database, because a great metaphor is like, okay, the food court and the bourbon chicken. No, I don't want any bourbon chicken. And however, one day they're going to be hungry. Kristen used the analogy, well, hey, their tank is full. At some point in time, they will want gas. So you guys don't stress it. It's not going to change. The numbers are the numbers.
You will never talk somebody into doing something they don't want to do.
Yeah, if you're married, you
Not gonna
certainly know that. No.
Awesome. Madeline, you've got your hand up.
Hey guys, quick question. So how do you address and how do you overcome an objection when you're circle prospecting and the neighborhood is an established neighborhood? They have about, most people in there that haven't sold for over 10 years have about 40 to 60K in equity, but they're older. So they're like, one of the things that I'm foreseeing and that I have gotten is, I'll sell, but where do I go now that I'm 70 or now that I'm 68? Like, how do you?
So I get it, Madeline. So let me ask you, where would you go? You could say you have a blank slate. Where would you move to?
At my age, I'd probably just stay put until I die, or my kids send me to a nursing home.
Which one do you have one picked out yet?
Well, hopefully, I like to stay in my house.
Okay. So awesome. I'm glad you love it. Click next call. Now, one of the things you said, Madeline, is, well, if I sold, where would I go?
Right.
So let's play that one, because you know what? Like Denny just said, we don't need to beat the dead horse. What Denny, like he just said, not everybody you talk to is going to have an inkling at this point. In fact, out of 10 conversations, you're likely to find one who might even consider it. So great. File them for a call in 3 months and see if things change. So now you just say to me, says, okay, if I sell, where would I go? And that's where my question comes in. Is, you know what, Madeline, you get a blank slate. Where would you go? Where would you want to go?
I guess I'd want to stay closer to my daughter.
Okay. And is your daughter here locally, or does she live somewhere else?
No, she's local. She's local
Okay.
in Houston. But I mean, again, at my age, I just don't want to deal with all the trouble of moving. And even if I have that much money in equity, I'm not really gonna be buying anything. So
Okay. So you're right back to, you have no desire to do anything, as opposed to solve my problem for where would I go?
see, on a situation like that, I don't even know. I mean, the motivation's not there. So I guess it's one of those that you just let go, right?
You're not going to have a red pill for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Part of our skill set, guys, has to be recognizing, not using an excuse to say this isn't a real prospect, but truly recognizing when, hey, this person is not, this is not the time for them.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing about this particular demographic, Madeline, where they're older, they say, oh, I'm going to die here, whatever the case is. Things change. And this is where some of the human side and really the empathetic side of our business comes in, because you're going to make that phone call. It could be 3 months down the road, could be a year or two down the road, to that same person, and maybe their spouse passed on. and now they have a place that they've got wonderful memories with, yet they don't want to live those memories every day. All right. This is part of the mindset we need as agents, guys, is guess what? We're filling our pipeline, not just for the next 30 days, 60 days down the road. We're filling our pipeline for 2, 3, 5 years down the road also. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Awesome.
Good
Tanner.
point. Good point, John.
So, John, I also put it in the chat. I come across very, very often, every day almost, with that specific objection from expireds. Doesn't matter, old, new. But most of them are very discouraged by the fact that they tried it already and they don't want to list it with an agent again.
Okay. I've heard that before, Tanner, and now let's jump right into it. Unless Denny, you want to handle this one, I'll go ahead and jump on it again, because I know you're traveling a bit today.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say is that, John, I'll let you go ahead and handle the role play. Is that I'll just give you just a sample of what I might do, Tanner. You just role play with me, okay? So I understand about listing, but so let's just put the listing aside. At one point, you wanted to sell to move somewhere. Do you still have that desire, Tanner?
I do.
Well, if that could happen with a snap of a finger, easy peasy, you got your number, would you do it?
Well, Denny, as I mentioned, if you have a buyer, I'm open to get the offer and move forward with it, but I'm not listing.
I got it. I don't want your listing. I want to see if I can help you get moved. So when can I come by and see your home? And I'll take some snapshots and I'll send it out to my buyers and let's see what happens.
I love it, Denny. Yeah.
So you guys forget about the listing. Quit using the listing terms, because that's what we want. They want to get moved. And so take it off the table. What's the difference between an expired or a for sale by owner? They don't want to relist again because they associate a listing with disappointment. Listing is prison. Now they're bound by this other agent. So I'm going for the appointment. Okay. I've asked the question, if you could move, would you move? Yes. Well, okay. Well, then I don't want, and never bring up the word listing until you have the conversation. So that would be my approach to an expired listing. I shouldn't say that I said listing, an expired seller. So anyway, go ahead, John, you can role play, but I just want to get that out there.
An expired seller sounds dead, Denny. And Denny, that's kind of exactly the
Very
way.
true.
There you go. That was exactly the same way I was going to play it. Is I don't want your listing. I just want to help you out.
Then they ask you, what do you think my home is worth? What are they going to pay for it?
Well, you know what? I haven't been in your house yet, so there's another reason why you need to have me over.
Cool. Well, John, you see pictures, right? Like I'm just role playing. What I come across. You see the pictures. It's up from there. You guys could see it. You don't need to come over. You have all the information.
So, and Tanner, I can appreciate that. I have a question for you. You've seen the pictures also. What's missing in the pictures?
I don't know. I don't know, John. That's a good
Well,
question.
you live in the house every day. I mean, you have to look at these pictures and say, it doesn't show this, or this part of the house is better than the way this picture shows it. Every seller has said that to me, Tanner. You can't be that one guy that says these pictures are 100% perfect example of my house. So what did the pictures miss?
I'm not quite sure, John, but I think that they pretty much present the house the way it is. Right now, I'm sure, like there's some stuff, but I don't know exactly what it would be.
Well, and that's a great reason for us to meet, Tanner, is let's take a look and see what the pictures missed. Because
What's the point of asking that question, John?
yeah, go ahead, Manny.
What was the point of asking that precise question?
So he's telling me that the pictures are up there. You can see what the house looks like. You can tell what it's worth. No, we can't. And I'm not going to get into the whole Zillow thing, but you can't tell how much a house is worth by the pictures.
Well, the
So-
other thing is like, oh, if you're sick, would you call the doctor? And the doctor said, well, come in and let me examine you. And would you say, well, let me take a selfie and I'll send it to you? Tell me what's wrong with me.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
The
get it.
the other thing, how many people looked at that home online and said
This
no?
is right where I was going next, Denny. Good job.
Keep going then.
No, you do it. You're done eating your burger or your Chick-fil-A, whatever you got.
Yeah. So, I mean, so I would tell the seller, listen, I mean, we've got to figure out what the disconnect is because, by the way, did your agent ever share with you how many people looked at your home on the internet and did not look at it, your home in person?
You know, Danny, I had bad experience. That's the reason I'm really not. You could tell me whatever it is. I'm not looking to list it again. You know,
I don't even want to talk about listing. You want to get moved, right?
hear you.
I'm going to come over and give you a free evaluation, my professional opinion, what the disconnect is. So is it worth 15 minutes of your time?
Yeah.
Now, would somebody who has some motivation really resist that? So again, I'm not even talking about the listing. I mean, you just asked what the price was. I mean, what the price should be. Well, can I actually determine that without looking at the home?
How would you move me if you're not gonna list the home? If you're not, how would you move me?
Well, if I had a buyer, you would let me work with you, wouldn't you?
Okay.
Hang on, it's getting more noisy there. Hang on. So let's just take one step at a time.
Makes sense.
And if I had a buyer, you would give me a 1-day listing, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So that's all we're talking about. And then what's going to happen, you guys? Here's what I want you to know. Quit attempting to solve all the world's problems on the phone. Get the what?
Face to face.
Yeah, because right now, I mean, they're not going to hire. They will hire another agent, trust me, because they want to get moved. However, they're not going to hire anyone they don't trust. And you're not going to get to the level of trust for them to hire you unless you can get to the level of trust they'll at least let you come in over and meet with them. So basically, I want the whole cookie. However, I'm just willing to smell the cookie baking in the oven first. Does that make sense?
Thank you, Danny.
Makes sense to me, Den. All right, next up, Jenny Malayeva. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You did a great job.
Thank you.
So, good morning, everyone. I had actually two questions. The first one, when I raised my hand, was I have a pricing reduction conversation coming up, and it's my very first one. So I'm kind of freaking out on that. And then the second question was on that expired script. I know, like, I had an appointment yesterday when it expired, and to that Danny's point, to where you say, well, let me just come in and look at it and see if I can find a buyer. Like, what's the step up? Because I feel like that's a rabbit hole. I'm going in for a listing, and they understand that.
Okay, so
Well-
which one do you want to do first? You want to do the expired, or you want to do the price reduction?
We can do the expired one, because I did go to appointment yesterday, and he is like, I know I could have pressed him more. I know I could have done better.
Go ahead, Denny. You're chomping at the bit on this one.
No, I want to handle the price. We're doing the expired or price reduction.
Doing the expired first.
You do that one. I want the other one.
I know you want the other one. I want the other one too. All right, I'll do the expired one. You know what, Denny? Everyone on this call that's been with us for more than a month wants the price reduction call. So, all right. So, Jenny, let's replay one more time what's going on with the expired, because you have 2 at a time. Let's address just the expired one first.
Right. So the guy had expired listing with his friend. It's a friend realtor, which we
Okay.
also addressed as an objection. Then he wants to wait till August. By the way, the listing had no description whatsoever. The pictures were great. And I asked the guy, how come there's no description? So the realtor friend said, well, because pictures are so beautiful, there is no need for description.
Okay,
So,
so Jenny, you're gonna be the seller, all right?
yes,
All right, so Jenny, if it were August, if we're sitting down August 1st, would you be comfortable listing with me today?
well, I don't know, because I do have a friend also. Like I said, I'll be open to giving you a call. I will definitely give you a call once
No,
August
we're now, I want you to pretend that it's the first week of August. You gave me that call, we're sitting down. It's now August 1st, your house needs to go back on the market. Are you ready to list with me now?
I'm ready to open a conversation. Yes, I will call you and we'll sit down and talk.
And we're past that point. I need you to think into the future, Jenny.
My realtor friend takes honestly 1%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Remind me, guys, for my snide thought that just went through my head that I had to pull back. So now, Jenny, I understand that your house has been on the market and it just expired. It did not sell.
Yes, and it's interesting because all my neighbors have sold their homes.
So let me ask you this without going down a road I shouldn't. You mentioned your friend would do it for 1%. What is it that attracts you about your home at 1%?
Well, I'm going to put more money in my pocket.
Okay.
That's funny.
That's
Yeah, how much?
That's exactly what he said.
So
Yeah, how much money have you put in your pocket over the last several months since your home has been on the market?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one. I should have said that.
So Jenny, let me ask you this. Have you been following the market?
Well, I see what sells in around my neighborhood. Yes, I know
Okay.
the price.
And right now, our price is going
higher.
Our price is going up or down in your neighborhood?
I see everything selling for, it's definitely down from last year.
Okay. So far, and I don't want this to be too painful for you, but so far, this strategy has cost you money.
Yes.
So my question to you, Jenny, is this. Are you interested in saving money or are you interested in making money?
Making money.
Okay. So the commission rate is only applicable if you get top dollar in every single situation. I think it's safe to assume that you weren't able to get top dollar under your current strategy.
Yes.
Okay. If I could show you that listing with me will not only not cost you money, but you will make more than your current strategy, will you list with me today?
Yes.
Okay. So we're hesitant to get into specific commission details here. So let me ask you this, Jenny, the difference between what a full service agent like myself would charge or what you were being charged in actual dollars, what do you expect to save?
About $6,000.
Okay. Okay, great. So Jenny, in the process of selling your home, there are 3 key points where somebody with my experience can help you save or make money. Are you familiar with what those points are?
No, where are they?
Okay. Well, first is the actual negotiation in the price of the home. Okay. My team and I successfully close between 250 and 300 transactions every year. So now if you're a new agent, you can use your office numbers, whatever the case is. All right. So our team closes between 250 and 300 homes every year like clockwork. Is it possible that this experience is going to bring something to the table that will enable us to negotiate a better price for you?
Yes, of course.
Okay. How much do you think we could get more just based on that?
I don't
I'm just
know.
kind of curious. Are you guys talking? Have you made the appointment yet, John?
We're now face to face. Yeah.
We're in an appointment already.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not letting her wait till August. Okay. So how much do you think, and I want this to be, I want you to have this leeway in this, Jenny. How much do you think that we could put in your pocket because of our experience?
Few thousand at least. I mean, if you're that good.
Okay. So is it safe to say that maybe 3,000 out of that 6,000 that we can recapture for you right out of the gate?
Yeah.
Okay. The next point is the home inspection. Do you think that negotiating the number of contracts we do, we may be able to not have you make as many repairs as you thought you might need to make?
Yes, definitely. I see where you're going. I
How much-
understand.
How much could we save you there?
Another couple of thousand probably.
Okay, so we're even, and we didn't even get into how to deal with a nasty appraisal. So going through this process, Jenny, you can see that hiring me makes you money even after I earn every cent for doing the right job for you.
Great.
So what is
Wow.
that? All right. Well, what is that called? And we talk about it all the time. In fact, I had the bold people stayed a little bit extra after class. And how do we make ourselves free to the sellers? There's what is that called, John?
Well, I know you're not breaking it down to ridiculous numbers, because that's a little bit different strategy. So I'm not sure
Making
exactly
the
what tack you're calling it.
great.
No, that's what I'm doing.
Great listing agent is free for the client.
Yep.
Well, yes, this is exactly the process we just went through, Jenny, to show
Yeah.
that a great listing agent is always free and most likely a profit center for the seller.
That's the mindset I should have.
That's the mindset that you need to have, is that not only are you free, you make them money.
Got
Okay.
it.
Sellers all get caught up on the commission because they think that you're going to sell the house for the same price as every other agent. And that's simply not the case.
Well, it is kind of the reducing to the ridiculous. It's not really the same thing. It's like you're standing at the deli and you said, I want some of that Virginia ham. How thick would you like, or thin would you like it sliced? And so every question you ask, what you're doing is you're slicing that commission down until it gets to a ridiculous amount. One question that I had in the, which you could have gone down the road and did an excellent job with it, John, is they're going to charge 1%. What question comes to you guys' mind when they say that?
What are they gonna do for 1%?
That's one question. What's another one?
How much does the buyer's agent get?
There you go.
Yeah, he
There
said
you
two.
go.
So he charged total 3.5.
Okay, so now how would you handle that? If you say, okay, well, so they're going to pay the buyer's agent 2.5?
Yes, that's what it was.
I'll tell you a quick little story here, then we'll go on to your other one about the pricing. My wife is sitting in the car. She knows the story. So the house she bought in
Hi, Kristen.
Scottsdale, I'm on the earpods.
Okay.
So the house she bought in Scottsdale, the listing agent listed it for free. Why? Because she helped them buy. Now, has this story sound familiar? So listing agent listed it for free, and so my wife wanted to look at it. And now the listing agent's making nothing on the house. The people have already bought. They moved out. The home is vacant. Well, she wanted to go see it. Well, it was a little bit out of town, and so the agent's doing it for free, and send some punky kid to show the house to her. It was getting later in the afternoon. Never bothered turning on the lights. My wife left that home thinking it had frogs in the pool. It was a total piece of crap because it wasn't staged properly for the showing. Now, it took a good agent to talk my wife into go back to look at it and had it properly staged. She ended up buying the house. So can you see what a free agent's worth?
Yeah.
And use that story. I mean, anyway, but then you go to the
Denny,
co-broke.
there's another one you could go down that road too, is, Jenny, so what do you do for work?
I work from home.
Okay, well, specifically, what do you do for work?
I have no idea what he does for work. I'm a computer engineer and I work on my computer mostly all day. My wife is
Wonderful.
out of the house.
Love that, love that. And are you in a senior position at your engineering firm that you're with?
I have a good job, yes.
Okay, awesome. And are there entry-level positions same way?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they get paid the same you do?
No.
Why not?
Well, obviously I have more experience. I see where you're going. Yeah, obviously I have more experience, I have more knowledge.
Does that have value to your company?
Absolutely.
Do you think it's possible that you probably make your company more money than that new person, even though they pay you significantly more?
Yes, for sure. That's a great one. Wow.
How was that, Denny? That was pretty good.
That was slick.
You're muted. I can't even hear you pick on me right now.
Let's go to the pricing one. That was good,
All right.
John.
All right, so Jenny, here's the pricing one. Denny's going to jump on this.
So you've got to go meet with them and to get the price reduced, correct?
Yes.
How long has it been on the market?
It was expired with 72 for a few months. I picked it up on May 5th and relisted it. So another
Okay.
2 weeks. No action.
Okay. So are you familiar with our 3 outcome sheet?
Yes.
Have you showed it to them?
Yes.
So now you're going to go back over there and say, okay, we've been on the market since May 5th or whatever, and we've had 3 showings, 2 showings, no showings. As you look at this sheet, what outcome are we at?
Mm-hmm.
And then don't tell them, ask them.
Okay.
And they're going to say, well, probably 1 or 2. Okay, then what's the remedy?
Price reduction. We have to reduce the
Well,
price.
We're going to have to reduce, lower the bait, right?
Yeah.
You be the seller. Are you ready to reposition?
Yes, because we need to sell.
No, they're probably not going to say that, at least at first. They're going to first say, well, how do you know? How do we know you're marketing it? So you got to be prepared for that. How do you handle that one? You got to get ready for it. They're going to ask you.
Absolutely. I prepared a list of people that I circle prospect around your neighborhood. I called 1,000 people. We've done an open house. Here's the feedback of all the agents. I did an MLS reverse search and I contacted 5 agents that were interested. Here's a Zillow. We have 16 people saving your listing. How come they're not coming to see it?
Okay, great. So you've done your homework.
Yes.
So you see the marketing's working. People are seeing your house, and the marketing's giving us, and the market is giving us the feedback. It's not the feedback we want. You know what the market's saying?
What?
No. It only knows one word. No. It acts on yes. So you said you needed to move by such and such. Are you ready to reposition?
Yes. What do you
Now
suggest?
they're gonna. Okay, so what are you listed at?
575.
And what was it listed at when it was expired? 72 sold.
He lower. I'm apparently they have a price bracket. So she says she wasn't aware that he lowered the price to 559. The last 3 days of a listing. So that's what it expired at, but she says she wasn't aware of that.
Okay, so who set the price at 535?
No, 559.
All right, so who set that price?
Agent, according to her.
Okay, so well, we've learned 2 valuable lessons. Number one, the market is saying no at 559, and we've eliminated every price from there up. So where do you want to position it today?
550.
Okay, so that's $9,000. That's a step in the right direction. My question is that going to get you moved fast enough? If you were a buyer and you said no at 559, now you see it at 550, would that make you just like put your boots on and go take a look at it?
Maybe, yes, but we're trying to we told you on the phone that we're trying to get a certain number. We bought it last year. We don't want to lose that much money.
Okay, well, the bottom line is I'm not going to, go on a death cage match with them on arguing what they should lower to. I said, okay, we'll go at 550, and then we'll meet again on next Friday, and one of three things will happen. How does that sound?
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Okay, and then next Friday you have no showings. You do the same thing, rinse and repeat.
Oh, okay.
Your conversation never has to change.
Any questions?
No.
Nope.
Simple.
When you're speaking the truth, there's only one verse in the song. It's just telling them the truth all the time.
Thank you, Denny.
All right, Madeline, you had
Okay.
another one.
How do you overcome the objection where the homeowner has refinanced and they have an interest rate of 2.8, and they want to buy, but they're really holding on to that 2.8?
Do they want to buy or have to buy?
They want to buy.
Okay. So what are some of the alternatives?
They stick,
What can they do to keep the 2.8 rate?
buy down the rates, but
Don't sell the house.
so it comes down to how much, which one is the greater pleasure, I guess.
Yeah, you
Why
would
do
have said which is the greater pain?
The pain. Okay.
Can they buy the other house without selling this one? Down payment. Don't worry about anything except the down payment.
No, they can't buy without selling this one.
So they don't have a down payment for the new house.
So
Not,
if they're waiting on 2.8, 2.8,
I
when's that
understand
going to
that.
happen?
This is not necessarily the most popular conversation from our seat. However, if they could buy that house, rent out their current house, their rate is so low, the rent will likely cover the cost of both houses, or pretty darn close to it. So their net monthly cash flow is less than
Yeah.
it is.
which would be great as an investment property, right? But they have to sell in order to buy. They can't have two houses at the same time.
Right.
They don't, let's say they have no
Yeah.
down payment. So
How much equity is in the house?
less than 20.
Okay. How much do they need for down payment?
I would say at least 5% because it would be a conventional.
Okay. Conventionally, you could probably get it 3, but let's go with 5. What's the price
That's
point? What's the price point?
220, 230 at the most.
So they need 10 grand plus closing costs. Okay, so they
Okay.
need $15,000 to $20,000. Okay. So now you're back to the greater pain and the current pleasure, current pain, future pleasure.
Yeah, why do they want to sell?
I'm sorry.
No, why do they want to buy?
Kids are out of the house and they've been living there for 20 plus years and they want to change.
So if they only have $20,000 equity in the house, what did they do when they refinanced? Did they pull cash out?
That's a good question. Not sure.
Because that's the first thing that comes to mind is they to get 2.8, they would have had to refinance 4 years ago. They've been in the house for 20 years. There's a lot of equity in that house. They refinanced. Did they pull it out, or did they only refinance their original loan? Maybe there's more equity than you thought. Maybe it's done in a HELOC. So there's a little bit more information there that you need to dig for. Now it comes down to, okay, the kids are out, they're looking for a smaller place. Why? Tell me about that. What's it going to do for you?
Just want to change. I'm tired of living in this house, the same neighbors. Just want something different.
What else makes you tired besides the neighbors?
They're basically going to a new stage in their lives, and they want.
No, you're them. Stay in role play.
I just want to change. You know, we put the kids through school, and now they're out of the house finally in college, and we feel like we deserve a different house where walls are not, turn up, and it's our own place.
Okay, so so something smaller, so when the kids come home, they don't stay for years. Okay,
Something's
all right. And you mentioned the neighbors. So do you have a challenge with your current neighbors, or do they just live too close to you, or not close enough? What is it about the neighbors that concerns you right now?
There's no HOA. We live in an established neighborhood, so people have their RVs parked right in the middle of the driveway, and messy yards and that sort of stuff.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't like it because my yard is very upkept.
Okay. So guys, we're now in current pain. If you're not following along, we're in current pain. We know that all of this stuff is currently annoying her. So,
But
Natalie, what are some of the other benefits of downsizing?
less cleaning in the house.
Less cleaning. You know what? I'm sure that you're not the first person to sell a house in order to get a situation that had less cleaning and less maintenance. Heard this once or twice. So awesome. I love that. What else?
Just a new environment. I think we're ready to have a change in our lives, and I just would like to have a new environment.
Okay.
Living in this house.
So what are you going to do in the new environment?
Well, it's like my husband and I are starting over. No kids, no one running around painting the walls, and
So no, you'll have an HOA to kind of keep things tidy.
on the outside, yeah.
Yeah.
That would.
Are you looking for any particular activities in the community?
No, not really.
No? Okay, I was hoping she was going to say pickleball, but it looks like Denny jumped off anyway. So, and to break this down, guys, I'm now putting her into future pleasure, the fourth quadrant. All right.
But see, I'm really up for this, but my husband's the one that's not so happy about it because of the 2.8. So I
get it. I get it. So here's the tough question, Madeline. What hurts more? Looking at your neighbor's RV up on blocks? Or maybe having a little higher interest rate that you have the opportunity of adjusting in the future?
I would say hearing my husband complain for at least 3 months.
What's he complain about?
Now the interest rate, and now we're paying significantly more.
Okay,
I mean,
so when are the rates going to drop?
I don't know.
Nobody does. Do you think they're going to drop someday?
Sure, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
In a couple of years.
Okay, awesome. And so the first question is are you willing to look at your neighbor's RV up on blocks for the next 2 or 3 years?
I am not. My husband is.
Okay. What do you think is going to happen to the price of real estate in the next 2 or 3 years?
Oh, I think it's going to go up, yeah, I think it's going to go up.
Okay, so you're willing to pay more for the house in order to save on the interest when you could buy the house today for less money, and if rates do fall in 2 or 3 years, you can refinance, you get the best of both worlds. However, what happens if rates don't drop and prices go up?
That's a good point.
What happens?
I end up paying for more of a house, basically.
Your house is more expensive at the cost, and your interest rate is more expensive. So it's a double whammy.
Right.
How's that RV up on blocks looking now?
So are I.
So I know your husband is really concerned about the rates. When he considers this, that the price of the house is likely going to be more in 2 to 3 years, and you don't know what's going to happen to the interest rates. They could be the same. You're going to take a risk either way. You sell now and buy a new house now, your risk is you're paying a higher interest rate. You wait 2 to 3 years and you risk the price going up and the rates not dropping. What's the bigger risk?
Waiting.
So do I need to convince your husband of that, or are you going to be able to do that?
No, you need to.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a good breakdown. So thank you for that. That might be a conversation worth having with her and him. So
And if they were, here's the thing, if they said, well, you know, I think the rates are going to go down and the prices are going to go down. See, what happened last time the rates went down?
prices went up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does anybody remember? The buying property is like buying a car, guys. Is what's your payment? I'm gonna lock my payment in for 30 years. The people that won with the low interest rates were the people that bought between 2019 and April of 2020. That 7 to 8 month window, that group of people, those are the ones that won. The next group that won were the ones that bought in 2018, 2019, when the rates were 4%, and then refinanced in the summer of 2020. Here's where the greatest risk is. The people that are most likely to lose are the ones who do not act out of fear. You buy today, so all prices could go down. Sure, they could. And they could go up. If prices go down and housing sales stall, what do you think the Fed will do with interest rates in order to stimulate home sales?
Drop them.
The best hedge is buying now. You don't have to, you don't have to come up with fancy, well, let's buy the rate down, you know, a 2-1 buy down and hope that in 2 years the rates drop, because then you're setting the expectations the rates drop. Figure out how to have that conversation and guide them through this without having to use a crystal ball or a magic pill. And then you can maybe layer it on top and say, you know what, great, let's do it. I'll tell you what, we can add something on here just in case. Use that as the icing on the cake. Don't use that as the reason to close them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Thank you.
All right. What else we got, guys? I got Denny off the call, and my wife has called me 3 times in the past minute and a half, which tells me I might have to excuse myself and end this call a couple minutes early. I didn't get anything that said that she just ran into a telephone pole, so that's the good news. So anything else? With your permission, guys, can we end a couple minutes early today so I can address this? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For those
Thank
who aren't on
Thank you.
morning calls, don't forget 9:30 Monday to Friday. Denny, Jen Davis, and I model these completely. And then this call, we will bring you in, just like we did with Natalie and a couple others today. We'll bring you in so that you can get some active participation. All right?
Sounds great.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have a great weekend. We'll catch you later.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.